Hi guys, welcome to Soulspace Radio on this beautiful, beautiful day in the coast. Just waiting, I think we've got 50 seconds before we go live on Blog Talk Radio. Welcome today, really excited about today's show. I think it's going to be fantastic. It always is when I get a chance to talk to you guys. So I'm really hoping you can put your any questions you have on Facebook, Soulspace Radio, or you can send an email to soulspaceradio@gmail.com.
3, 2,
and here we go.
Blog Talk Radio. Welcome to Soulspace Radio. To honour and protect the well-being of all, please sign the following disclaimer. All rights reserved. No part of this broadcast may be reproduced or transmitted in any form or by any electronic or mechanical means without the presenter's written permission. The presenters do not dispense medical advice or prescribe the use of any technique as a form of treatment for physical, emotional or medical problems. The intent of the presenters is to only offer information of a general nature to help you in your quest for emotional and spiritual well-being. Thank you.
Hi guys, welcome everyone today. It's a beautiful day here in the coast. Absolutely stunning, cold, but a beautiful, beautiful day. And it's been another fabulous week for me. Really exciting things. I've been to Kundalini yoga session with Cassandra Pierce here in the coast on Saturday afternoon, and thanks to a good friend of mine, Di Harpin, and had a magic time. It was really lovely. Thanks, Cassandra. It was a beautiful experience and I would highly recommend it. And hopefully at some stage we can have some more information to share with you about Kundalini yoga, but that's we are currently working on. So, I've had a great week. I guess, well, first of all, I suppose I need to let you know that Rufus is at work. It's his rotation on. And Kate is also working today. So we wish them all the best. And we know that there's spaces here and we hold their space for them. So they'll be back with us at some stage. Rufus will be back with us next week. So last week's show, I just wanted to recap on last week's show. It was amazing. We had so much feedback, so much positive feedback and support for Lee Evans and her very, very inspirational story that she shared with us. And thank her so much for that, because it was a really brave thing that she did. And I inspired us all, and it certainly inspired me in terms of how we can help for those that, you know, don't have the same opportunities or aren't, you know, we all have those times when things happen to us and, you know, maybe it's just a case of reaching out. It's as simple as communicating that we care. Sometimes I think that's that simple. And I guess it's all about coming back into that love, heart-centric space. But thank you so much, Lee. Really blessed to have Lee on the show and really looking forward to an update. I'm really... Watch this space, people. I think in 6 months' time we'll have Lee back and she'll be telling us some wonderful things. So I'm really excited for her and where her future's going to go. So now, and also before I go, you may recall the song that we sang. The song that we played last week was provided by a gentleman called Joseph Reese from the USA. And he has, the song's called Stop Stalling. It's available on YouTube, and I've posted a link in the Soulspace radio page. So thank you, Joseph, for that. That was wonderful. So without further ado, let's go on to today. So really, I notice there's no callers at the moment, and this radio show is effectively about providing intuitive guidance and advice in a really empowering way. And you guys might have noticed that the video that I put out was really about, well, there's a little boy holding a plane, and it's really about how do we convert all of those dreams and desires that we had as children, how do we convert them into reality? How do we make our desires happen? You know, obviously, we co-create. We talked about connection. That's really important. We co-create and we give inspired action, and we work together with the energy or source, and then we work in synchronicity and flow, and all the things are brought to us that we need. But obviously, we need to actually take these steps. We need to take some steps. We need to take inspired action steps, and it can be something small, and you can stimulate, because you can once you've identified the area that you want to go in, you can stimulate and work with the energy by effectively looking at anything or doing action around anything that is involved in achieving that goal. So we're going to go right back to the beginning now. So we're going to talk about passion and desires. I'm by nature a really passionate person, but how do you actually deliver on that? How do you deliver on your passion? How do you actually connect, and how does that actually happen? Because it's not just a case of connecting and not doing anything, because that doesn't really work. You have to actually give it intention, energize it with love and your intention, and then start forth and stepping forward into it and claiming it as your own. So the very first thing then is when we talk about passion and desires, is do you know what you truly want? So what we might do today is I just wanted to go and we'll do a bit of, until somebody calls in, we'll do a bit of practical application, a little bit of a session on how to actually plan out or get to the point where you can actually deliver on or take actions and take steps on what it is that you want to desire, without impeding the process, without being all male, logical and over analytical, because male energy is great, but it has to be aligned, and the female leads, right? So intuitiveness, creative, that connects you to source. That's the leading aspect. So we want to honour that. We want to honour that creativity. We want to stifle that. We don't want to overanalyze. We don't want to be too analytical. We don't want to be too pushing. So, okay, so now, by all means, please send me an email on Facebook. If you have a desire that you'd really like to achieve and you don't know how to do it, let me know on the Facebook page, Facebook Soulspace Radio. Send me a message and we can talk about it now as an example. So, what I get though, right, what I get in terms of my communication with the power is that we should not, none of us should be in this position where we don't have what we desire. Like, it's a natural process. That if you look at nature is naturally abundant and sustaining. So everything that you desire should be your reality now. And there's some things stopping that, basically limitations, societal constraints, things like that. But we can actually, and working in separation, being separated from source is probably one of the things that mainly keeps us from our own desires. And so let's go right back to the beginning then. So how do you know what you truly want? And that's a really good question, because sometimes what we want is come from our, when we were growing up, it's come from absorbing what other people would like us to have, or interpreting success as what other people would desire us to be, or what they believe it to be. So what do you truly want? And it's well worth taking the time to sit down with a pad and paper and document what it is that you truly want. And this applies actually in terms of business as well. So it works both ways, both for business and personal goal setting. But we'll talk in terms of desires at this point in time. And make no limitations with regards to this. Don't have any limitations on what the third dimensional, what the reality is for you now. Big picture stuff, whatever you want, whatever you aim for, whatever you want. It doesn't have to be big, it doesn't have to be small, it's just whatever you truly desire. But don't look at it from the limitations of your viewpoint at this particular point in time. Think big picture. So grab a pen and paper. It's really good if you can get connected. So let's do that. So one of the ways I find, I love meditation space. It's just one of the things that I really connect with source in my meditation. But what I can suggest that you can do is just very quickly close your eyes and I always use, I think there's a name for it, mudras, or this, don't quote me on that, I'm not really into the yoga terminology, and neither am I trained nor practiced in any particular spirituality, but that's, I think, my whole journey has been my own, and so it's sort of developed with me, or it's shown me, and so I'm really comfortable holding my hand. That it's about what is comfortable for you, and there's no any particular way to sit or anything like that. You can sit with you as long as you're comfortable. You can have your legs down as long as you're comfortable. Just sit, and then closing your eyes, take 3 deep breaths. See bright white light coming in down into your head chakra, coming through and out of your heart. And so as you breathe in, the white light comes down and it radiates out into your heart space. And on the 3rd deep breath, I'll just make sure that's on. 3rd deep breath, it comes out and just radiate that white light all the way out into the universe. And so you're kind of merging. You can see white light coming to you as well if you like, and you're merging with the divine, which is really lovely. So let's go. So 1 deep breath in, white light out through the heart. You can breathe in your nose, out your mouth, whatever you choose, whichever is most comfortable for you too. And 3. So radiating that white light that you just breathed in all through your body. Let it merge until everything's just bright white light. Okay. Now we're connected. So what we'll do now is let's grab a piece of paper and a pen and write down what you truly desire. So let's start from the beginning. Like, what is it that you truly want? And from you, because if you don't have a burning desire, if you don't have a passion for it, it is not going to eventuate. So you need to have a passion, you have a burning desire for it. You need to determine what you truly want. So this exercise is really important. So you grab your pen and paper and you can categorize, you can put it into categories. So you could say, okay, well, we could go through the list. You could say, what house would I like? Would I like a house? Yes or no? Do I want a new place, or do I want to currently live where I am? If I want a new place, what does it look like? Is it in the country? Is it near a beach? Is it on the lakeside? Is it a contemporary home? What's my preferred dwelling? What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it smell like? Is it wood? Is it concrete? Is it really contemporary? Is it Hampton style? Is it huge? Is it small, containable? How many bedrooms does it have? How many rooms? Do you have a media room? Does it have a swimming pool, a spa? What is it? Is it on land? Is it in a townhouse? Is it in a high rise? Is it penthouse suite? How many bathrooms does it have? What's your kitchen like? And really have fun with it. Just imagine, you can actually visualize it. Just close your eyes and visualize what this place might look like. You might have seen pictures of it, in which case you can cut the pictures out. So it's good to back it up visually. You could do this in your journal space, and so you could write it down. It is a good idea to write it down, but you could actually write down the detail about what it is, and how it looks and what it feels. You could really just feel what it feels like, just sort of embody it in the visualization process, write it down. What does it look like? What does it feel like? And then go on to the next. Do you want a new car? I mean, start with tangible things, and then we can go into the intangibles. Start with, a lot of people, we live on a material earth. There's nothing wrong with wanting material things. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's not inherently evil. You're not greedy. There's none of that. We should have everything that we desire, and every single person has different desires. There's no right or wrong. There's nothing holding us from this other than ourselves and in connection with Source and getting connected with Source. So there's, just write down what you like. Same with a car, do you want a boat, toys, jet skis. What would you want? What do you truly want that would enhance your life and empower you? And just remember that the goal is not to create more happiness, because happiness is something you find within yourself. It's not contingent on any external thing, but it's like, what are these things that you desire? You've spent most of your life contrasting. So Esther and Jerry Hicks were good about, that's a good, Abraham's teachings are a really good way to go back in terms of how thinking about contrast and not contrasting, and you're going, oh, I want this, I want that, I don't want this, I want this, I want that, I don't want that. And so from that you can work out and you sort of distill what you really would like in life. So start with the material things, then move into things like, do you have a business? Would you want to stay in that business, or would you want to move into another business? And have no limitations of money here. So just either pretend that you've got millions and millions of dollars at this point when you're writing the list, because that'll be more true to actually what you do desire. You don't have the limitation of money behind you, which is a significant one for a lot of us. So put pen to paper in terms of what you desire without any limitations of money. So would you stay in the same job? If you wouldn't, what job would you do? So you might have lots and lots of money, but keep in mind that you are going to do something. I mean, we're here for a service, it's a purpose-orientated life. So for all intents for this exercise, you have millions and millions of dollars, but you're still going to do something. So would you change your career? And if so, what would you want to do? And if you don't know with your career, some of the best ways that you can find out is you can go back to childhood and determine where your joy was, or you can actually determine your joy in adulthood. It might be a hobby, and joy and fun, or what you truly love to do, is really what we're talking about here. So love and desire go hand in hand. So for me, I love the radio space, but I certainly didn't know I would actually enjoy or love doing this until I actually did it. So, which again, I was sort of guided to in terms of connection with Source. So once you start on the inspired path, everything that you want will come to you, but just take small steps at the moment. You don't need to know what your specific purpose is right now, but as you go through this exercise, you'll start to lean in areas that you would prefer to be involved in, and as you take steps or actions to move in that area, and you give it an intention, you connect to Source, then things will come to you, and it may not even be what you thought it was going to be. A lot of the times it's not. It's sort of an evolving process. And certainly when you co-create, when Source and energy comes through you, it actually knows you, it knows what you want, possibly better than you do yourself. And as it comes through you, it will manifest exactly what you truly desire. So don't be too concerned about it. This exercise is really just a great at kind of like formulating a pathway, or sort of getting some clarity on what it is you truly do desire. Okay, so once we've written down all of the areas, health. What do you desire in terms of health and well-being? Some great examples of that are, do you want to do more meditation or take up a yoga class? Do you want to go to the gym? Do you want a personal trainer? How often do you want to train? What sort of exercise do you like? I love running, for example, so I'm not really a gym person. I'm not very good at being told what to do. Probably noticed that. So, you know, find something that you really enjoy doing and plan in terms of what you'd like to do there. So, you know, there's lots of fantastic external courses and tools that we can use in all sorts of areas in health and well-being. Every day there seems to be different sort of exercise groups or exercise types that you can do. Swimming's another great one. All sorts of different things. And fun things as well. Dancing is a great exercise. And also lots of fun. So, you know, things like that. So, you know, write down on what you really want to do. If you've always wanted to be an artist, write that down. So just anything and everything that you truly desire that you've wanted to do, and then just document all that down. And then, you know, from that list, start looking at the ones that really rock your soul, that really motivate you to achieving them. That really you have a burning desire for this, for achieving these. And when you're writing these down, you're actually creating an intention. You're actually setting an intention. When you write them down, you set an intention. So what you can do with that piece of paper is you can fold it up and put it away and take it out in 6 months and just see what's happened. Because when we set an intention, we've effectively told the universe about what we truly desire, and so it actually puts it into place on an energy level. And you can be more specific. What we'll do is we'll distill down in terms of what you really truly want at this point in time, what your heart's most focused on. And many of those other things will come as a result, but we'll just focus on the immediate stuff. And usually that's probably the big ticket items. It might be it's usually career, business orientated, and then you'll have a couple of personal things that would be really important to you, probably home and car, things like that. Travel is another great one. So, you know, put where you want to travel and around the world and what you want to do. And then when you've worked out what you want to do, what you're most passionate about in terms of desiring now, take those things, specifically around the career area, because it's really important to be of service and be purpose orientated. And I think if we're living in accordance with our soul purpose, then we tend to be much happier, because we're actually delivering. We're actually of service to people. We're delivering what we want to do, and with that comes remuneration. I've talked about that before. I'm truly a big believer in when you do what your soul purpose is, then often remuneration then that flows, because you're in the flow of the universe. You're working in conjunction with source. It's what you truly want to do. It's what you love. Love energy is a universal energy. It's one of the leading ones. So it's an expansive energy and will bring everything to you. Okay, so you've got what you really desire. You've got your three. Well, you've identified what you desire in terms of career aspirations. And you might have a specific monetary desire to make that happen, so you can actually cost out what it would take to make that career happen. Or you can actually have the career and then determine how much you're making in this new career that you see yourself in. And then you would see what some of the other elements, which might be house and car or whatever's most important to you. So pick maybe 3 elements. And then you would incorporate those into a statement. And you would say something to the effect, I see myself receiving the item, or I see myself receiving and that enables this amount of money, that enables me to do the things that you want to do, in complete synchronicity, and I see and feel the entire universe backing me up. So you'd make a statement along that lines. Now, I got a lot of this information from Carol DeRay, who runs the Power Vision exercise, POWERBISION. She runs a whole lot of programs in the States, and she was one of the first. She's very inspirational to me. I've sort of deviated a little bit in terms of how to set intentions, but she's kind of like a manifestation queen, and she works predominantly from heart space. Now, she was talking about heart space in the 80s, well before heart space is obviously being heart-centric is very popular now, but she was talking about that back in the 80s, so she was quite ahead of her time. And you know, a lot of the specifically the manifesting aspects I have taken from her programs, and then I've kind of amalgamated them and put some of my own interpretations on them. So you can by all means go and have a look at the Power Vision. I think it's www.powervision.com, I think, but you can either just Google Power Vision or Carol, CAROLEDORE, Carol DeRay, and you should be able to find her programs. I highly recommend her. She's one of my leading lights in terms of my own journey. Like, I just wouldn't be here without having undertaken some of her programs. So always, you can always come to me, because I've sort of, like I've said, I've taken the basis foundation from some of her style and then interpreted it in a slightly different way, and I've added some more elements in terms of connection, because I see it as the leading criteria, and the way I connect is more meditation space, which is slightly different than what she does. But by all means, go and have a look. So where we are. So we've got our statement now. And then always a good idea with the statement, you can incorporate a picture. So have a picture, so much like a vision board, but have a picture with yourself in it, and of the outcome that you see. And it might be your career with lots of money coming to you, and you're in the middle of it, and saying something like, thank you I'm so grateful for my millions of dollars to enable me to do all this stuff. You might have your pets in there, or your family in there, and then your statements on the top, and your pictures at the bottom. And it might be a collage. You can easily just take things off the images and put yourself in those. You could make it a vision board of multiple different things. Make it as colourful. You can draw it out. I'm not a particularly good artist, so I tend to do the collage style, but you can draw it out yourself. You can have it multifaceted. You can have everything that you want in separate images, or you can just have one image that best represents to you everything that you desire. And then at the top is your statement, and I would just pop that on the fridge. And you can look at that every day, and you can read the statement and look at the picture, and you can energize it. You just energize it from your heart, give it white light, then taking the white light from source, connect to source, bring the white light down, and you can energize that, the statement and the picture. You can energize that with your white light energy. And at night, you can lie in bed and you can visualize yourself in the photo. You can walk through it and see that it's already achieved. So one of the tricks with manifesting, especially in accordance with the like versus like attraction, is that you feel like you have it now, not that you're going to have it in the future. Because if you focus on you don't have it yet, you're just going to attract more of what you don't have. But if you focus on you have it now, and you're in it, embodying it, and you've got all the feelings, and you're using your senses, you're tasting, smelling, seeing, feeling, then that's going to manifest. But if you're focused on what you know, if you're not doing that aspect, if you're not embodying it, or if you're not feeling that you've already got it, then what's happening is that you're focusing on not having it, which just creates more and more of lack. So, you know, but you have power, and that's the most important thing for you to acknowledge, is that you really are a powerful person and you co-create with Source, and this is your play area, and so you can create whatever you wish, and you know, it's a powerful space to be in. You're not unempowered. You're not by nature codependent. There's nothing outside of you that you actually need. It's all within you. You're self-contained. The only thing is that you would need connection to Source, because you co-create. Source will provide the energy to come through and manifest your dreams. So I will just take a note. So we'll take a quick breath, because I need one, and I'll just have a look at Facebook, and we will see if we have got any comments around manifesting desires, because it's a really interesting one. I think it's one of the topics that everyone likes to talk about, because it's one of the biggest things that we all you know, are interested in actually manifesting stuff. Because I think we sense that we can, and we absolutely can. And so, you know, there's no reason not to have everything that you want now. So let's just see if we've got some commentary. We have, so I'll have a look at those. Just see if I can get those comments. Okay, Lee Evans, hi Shay, hi Lee, how you going? Lee wants to say, this feels so expansive that sometimes I can't breathe. I really struggle with so much growth in my business and personal life. I also have mental health issues, so trying to balance everything is so hard. Okay. Heather Jolly is saying, listening and watching your show. Bless you, Heather. Thank you so much. Victoria Sloan has sent a question. Okay, Victoria, I'm going to have to have a look at that. I might not be able to get my private messages. She's done that through private message. Okay, so, well, first of all, Vic, what I might do is, I don't have access to my private messages here, but what I might do is, if you don't mind, if you let me know, I'll respond to your message, and then if you let me know, I'd love to come back on the show and talk about that a little bit more next week, if I can't find it now. Okay, Lee, it feels so expensive, but sometimes I can't breathe. Okay, so let me just close out where we're at with regards to desires. And knowing what you want. So, and then I'll come back to your question, Lee. So, with regard to desires and knowing what you want, I just want to close that off by, when you energize it, you can energize it both, you know, obviously you can energize it using the energy connection with Source, and energizing that with bright white light. You can energize it through visualization. You know, in that sleep space, just about when you're going to sleep, you can actually run through your mind, and you can have a visualization that you're in, and you can feel those feelings and taste, and you can do that every night. That's another really good way to manifest. And the other thing that you can do is actually start doing some steps towards what you want. And they can be tiny, but actually that's a form of energizing, because they don't necessarily have to be inspired at that point in time. But if you take a step forward, you're actually kind of energizing in terms of action. So just take a small step, because you will get inspired action, and that's the stuff that you really want to take, you know, you really want to be clear on taking those paths, those stepping stones as they come to you, and they'll come to you in the forms of events, people, and places. But you can, by energizing it, you're actually, with your intention, including action, you're actually going to attract inspired action anyway. So, for example, let's just say one of you wanted to change your career options. So you might currently be an accountant, and you wanted to become a chef. Then one of the things you could do is take some classes. So you would start with small steps. You might just take a small master class in cupcake cooking or something to that extent, and just build on your repertoire that way. You might even want to, you know, depending on your financial situation, book yourself a course on being a chef. You might want to, you know, do anything little in terms of commencing that forward. That's all, energizing it until you get inspired action. Now, with regards, let me just talk to you about if we want to change our career, we put an intention in there, and it will impact on the career that we currently have, because we may not like that career. I kind of get it. Well, I absolutely get it, because we all do things that we're not necessarily liking. However, so that when you give an intention for a new pathway, you're kind of saying, I don't need that pathway anymore. It can be taken away from you. So, and quite drastically. So what you want to do is, love holds everything together. It's kind of a glue. So what you want to do is you want to appreciate and love the job that you're in, because it's giving you the remuneration and everything that you need. We're not suggesting that you quit everything and you quit your job, and it's, you know, we understand the world that we live in here, and it's, you know, we have to be realistic and pragmatic, and we can be both. We can be spiritual and pragmatic, and so we focus on what we want, and we energize that, but we also love what we're currently doing, because it's assisting us in furthering what we want to do. It's a vehicle, it's a means to doing what we want to do. It's providing us the remuneration, so we give it love and we appreciate it from that standpoint, and then we go ahead and we put actions in to start the energy towards our new objective. And you know, we do specific energy work with that, as well as we talked before about visualization. You can connect in the meditation space and see it realized, and you can feel it realized and things like that. So I just wanted to make that really clear, so that, you know, because energy will shift things. Your intention, the intentional universe, your feelings lead. You start energizing. You have an intention. You start energizing that with your feelings. You might find that things move away from you. That's just part of the manifestation process, and nothing to be scared of. But if you don't want it to move away rapidly, then give it love. If you don't want to see it fall apart, then give it love. Just whatever you do, don't complain about anything, because complaining is a contracting energy and love is expansive. So you can love something purely for the means to an end that it's providing you. I just wanted to clarify that one, because I know people are like, whoa, and they see things, energy coming out of they see things coming out of their life, they weren't really quite prepared for it. But it's only because you've given energy to what you truly want. But like I said, you can mediate a lot of that by loving it, and for what it's providing to you. So let me go. I think that's covered a lot in terms of desires. If you want to know more about how you actually do that, I'm more than happy to talk to you about that. You can actually come and you can send me an email to Intuitive Energy Works. That's Facebook / Intuitive Energy Works. If you want to schedule a session with me, I'm happy to do that with you. If you want to determine or find out what your soul purpose is, that's my specialty. So by all means, you can go to Facebook / Intuitive Energy Works, and we'll work out a fantastic reading for you. Okay, so Lee, back to Lee. Okay, this feels so expansive that sometimes I can't breathe. I really struggle with so much growth in my business and personal life. Okay, so I'm going to take some liberties here and say, in Lee's particular case, what I think is happening is that she is directly in the flow with extremely expansive energy. And I know she's very connected spiritually. And so what my interpretation of the situation is that with her connection, she has access to a lot of energy. And if we don't set boundaries around that, and we can, because Source is like any other relationship. Well, it's the predominant relationship we'll ever have, but, and the most important that we'll ever have. It's really a love relationship, and quite personal too. So we can set boundaries in terms of that relationship, and what we need to do is we need to say, when we're in a meditative space, or however best we connect out in nature, we need to determine, and part of this is actually, that's a really good question, and part of what I just talked about in terms of desires, because the energy is coming through you, and it's very, very expansive, and you're in the flow with it. So, you know, you're going to be a great manifestor, I have to say, because you've already connected first. What is happening at the moment is that it's going everywhere and into all things, because it's and overwhelming you, because it is, first of all, the channel is extremely strong, and secondly, it's largely undirected, because you're not entirely clear on what you want. So and this is really interesting. So again, this is all intuitive stuff. What I would suggest you do is, instead of actually communicating with Source, because I do believe we talked about, you can actually communicate with Source and say, I need to set boundaries around this and that, but I think you need to be clear on what you really want first, and you can direct that energy into in a focused channel. At the moment, it's kind of all over the place and taking you into multiple areas, and it can be really overwhelming from that space. So no surprise that you're completely overwhelmed. And everything's happening for you at once, I think, physically, mentally, and spiritually. So let's just nurture ourselves, because that's the main thing, and then come down, and really love the opportunity, Lee, to do this with you, which I'm more than happy to do. But let's come back to setting our desires and our goals, and what do you truly want, and just make them really specific, you know, one or two, and then what we need to do is direct the energy into those. And we can do that by, the energy is going to focus on what we're focused on. In other words, you must focus on what you want. If you focus on what you want, when expansive energy comes through you, you'll get what you want. But if you focus on what you don't want, you'll have dissipated energy, and you'll start manifesting what you don't want. So just get really clear on what Lee wants, not what everybody else wants, but what Lee wants for herself, in a personal and professional arena. And I think it's really cool that we talked about desires and manifesting desires today, because your question is completely linked to that. So let's set a couple of objectives, and all of that amazing energy that you've got running through you, we can direct it. And the way that we direct that energy is by directing it through our heart into whatever we want, with white light, into whatever we desire in terms of our statement, in terms of our picture. And it can be a career, would be a good thing, and whatever else you want. It could be, in terms of health, it could be radiant health. And there's some things that you can do at night where you just lie back and, you know, I actually do this with my son every night, and before you're going to sleep, you just say I am affirmations, and you say them not in terms of expecting the I ams to manifest, because they absolutely will, because you are what you believe you are, but just in terms of, it's kind of like my prayer space. And I do it with my son, and you just sit there and you go, I am good, I am kind, I am caring, I am beautiful, I am radiant health, I am intelligent, I am connected, I am divine love. And then you would end it with, I'm open and receptive to all good things. And you can say in there, you know, you can say in that space, I am focused, I am channeling energy, I am aligned with energy, I am harmonious with the energy, and that's, if you know, do that every night, and that's a really good thing, because you're playing with that conscious subconscious state when you're lying in bed just before you go off to sleep, And, you know, it's just a beautiful prayer that you can do to communicate with Source. And interestingly, Source does not provide anything that you're not really able to deal with. So I think, Lee, it's not the fact that you've got mass amounts of expansive energy coming through you. It's more about the fact that we just need to focus that energy. Because I think Source is saying, Lee, you know what? I'm ready to do some cool stuff with you. And I'm so not surprised as to why, Lee. So, you know, you're ready from that level. It's just about channeling the energy and using the energy. I often, right, so I haven't learnt any of this, but intuitively I play with light. And for me, I guess Kundalini meditation taught me this. When I sit in meditative space and I am basically invoking light into me, and it's from the base of your spine. I meditate, and it comes up through your head chakra. It connects to Source, which I see as bright white light, and connecting in that, I sit in that light. That's what I do, and I've, you know, basically sat in that light for 5 years, and it works. Now, I truly believe that the way that you connect with Source is whatever you believe works. It can be as simple as complicated as you actually make it. It can be as simple as the 3 deep breaths and you're connected with Source. It's really faith-based, and it's really about your beliefs. If you believe it's to be complicated, then it will be complicated. So in terms of actually directing that energy, I would suggest the way I've done it is play with light. I don't know, and I need to talk to you a little bit more about how you connect and how you think about Source. So one of the things I do, for example, is if I feel that my energy is kind of all over the place, and it can, because I'm quite a dynamic person anyway, and so it can become quite sort of overwhelming to me. What I tend to do is I just see it. I see it kind of going from this I just visualize it actually coming down and being, and I can do this without having my eyes closed, and coming back down into a focused area, and I push it and I refocus it into what I want, which is, you know, whatever area that I want to focus on, I push it out usually from heart space into the area that I want. You know, if I feel that there's stuff around me that's really heavy, or let's say, because I know that you've got a lot on your plate in terms of work, let's talk about a work situation, you've got lots of different things that are happening, they're all coming on your desk and they need to be done now. That's purely male energy. So taking the time out actually to stop, 3 deep breaths, and then just 3 deep breaths, and once you've done that, just visualize how it feels to have your office space in harmony and everything in flow, and it's you feel really light, and just infuse that energy into your workspace. It will make such a difference. And you can do that. You can do it with people, with people situations. You can see them in your mind, see them and project love energy out to them, and see them, you know, see that situation being harmonized, or see what you want. Just keep on focusing and use light energy on what you want. So I'm just going to check Facebook, because I see I've had some more commentaries, and I'm sure that Lee might have something further to say. No? Do send another message if you do want to, Lee. I hope I've actually answered that. And again, that male energy is, the male energy is, when the male energy is rampant, and by that I mean, you know, push, there's a voice inside your head that is judgment or critical. That is an overprotective male, and that is from a separated space. That is where the male and female are separated energies within you, and that's just purely not connected. Because when you connect, what happens is the male and females align. And when I'm talking about connection, I'm not talking about, make it, try and make it really simple, and it's a feeling space. So you just feel light, protected, beautiful, happy, and joy. It's something within you. Build on that love relationship with Source. And, you know, build that female, let that female free. You know, the female is your intuitive, creative side. Let her free. She's not bound by tasks. She needs to find joy and fun in what she's doing. Sounds funny talking about. We all have male and female energies. It's esoterically talking. So, you know, find fun and joy in your work. You know, delegate out some tasks that, you know, you're not finding so much fun and joy in, and start focusing on what you truly want to do. Yeah, sometimes it takes that step away, the step away out of the business, the couple of days off, even though you're like, I'm supposed to do this, I'm supposed to do that, the couple of days out of the office and in nature with some friends, having fun, whoever that might be, whatever that may consist of, and actually just connecting into Source and just feeling the light. It can be as simple as just feeling the light. Even, you know, Lee, in your case, maybe one day a week, just dedicating that to yourself and fun and joy. And, you know, what is fun and joy? I know you're extremely passionate about your business and stuff, but, you know, are you getting joy out of that at the moment? And or are there more joyous things that you would prefer to do than others? And then just incorporate more of that into your life. You know, I'm very naturally, I'm a very analytical person. Naturally, that's a good question, because I don't think we're born that way, but I think in separation, I think when we go through the education system, we get told that we're not good enough, and everything like that happens, we do actually shrink within ourselves. And what happens is that we become very male orientated, because we're constantly trying to protect ourselves, and the male is a protective controller. So, you know, it builds on our external beliefs. However, the thing is that you can't get connected from there, and you need to integrate with your female, and, you know, the male can lock the female in the cupboard. I mean, it's effectively abusing yourself. So, you know, set her free. What does she want to do? She'll procrastinate, she'll create all sorts of issues if she's not happy in currently what is being done. And again, a lot of this work in terms of female and male energies has come from Carol DeRay, Power Vision, in the States, and she's amazing in terms of teaching me the male and female energies. And I've sort of expanded on that in terms of integrating those within meditative space and connection. So Lee, come to see me if you want more information with regards to that. Okay, so here we go. Lee has just said, thank you, Shay. I'm just worn out spiritually, and some things I need to say no in order just to manage. I find that just being quiet is what you need sometimes. I'm taking some time out as much as I can. Guidance help. Thank you, Shay. Okay. Yeah. Well, Lee, that's so cool that you're saying no. Gosh, that's yeah. I think saying no is you know, one of the hardest things to do. I think we always say yes, 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 and, you know, try and be everything and do everything for everyone else. So saying no and taking time for yourself, Lee, I mean, you've got it soused. Yeah, the you know, the spiritual component is massive. I think you're very, very spiritually connected, and you know, it's not always rainbows and skittles, as we've talked before. It can be quite overwhelming, and everyone's journey is different. And you know, part of the spiritual exercise is actually about, in my interpretation, is about cleansing and renewal and rejuvenation. And you know, that's not always easy. you know, and it manifests physically as well. And it's about nurturing yourself in those processes. When those processes happen, it's about nurturing yourself. And, you know, just remember that the energy or whatever, the spiritual beings who assist you are pure love. So, that, you know, interpret them as see them as pure love beings, and that's all that you're willing to accept is pure love. And in that space, just, you know, shine the light within yourself. And, you know, so sometimes it's okay to be worn out too. It's not always about fixing everything. It might be that you simply need rest. Okay, I've got a caller. I've got 5 minutes to go, so hopefully that has helped, Lee, and it sounds like you're on the path. So caller ending in 0472. Let's go. Hello, Shay speaking. Welcome to Soulspace Radio. Hi, how can we help?
Oh, well, I'm kind of in a predicament, and I really don't know which way to go. If I should just let things be and just realize my marriage is over, or is it really taking a break and it will work out?
Okay, well, sorry, what's your name?
Shannon.
Shannon. Okay, Shannon. So we've got 4 minutes to go. So I'll try my very best to respond to your query in the 4 minutes. Can I ask you to do something really quickly for me? Do I have permission to talk to your soul, Shannon?
Yeah, you can talk to me.
Cool.
Yeah, my soul, yes, absolutely.
Fantastic. So can I just get you to do something for me, Shannon? Can you close your eyes? And can you just take 3 deep breaths? We'll try and do it as quickly as possible. Just white light from the top of the head out through the heart space. 1, 2, and on the third, just expand that white light all the way out of your body, so you're nice and relaxed. Beautiful. And if you could just close your eyes, and you're lying in bed, and it's 6 months ahead of time, and you're lying in bed and you're about to wake up, but you're still going to have your eyes closed. So with your eyes closed, I'd like you to wake up and imagine yourself in your bed, and I'd like you to tell me, are you happily married to your husband?
I'd like to think I was, but it seems like that's not working out right now. But you mean in 6 months?
That's it. Yeah. So what I want you to do, we'll do it again. Just go into that, close your eyes, and you're in your bed. I'm assuming that you sleep together, yeah?
No, he just moved out.
Okay, well that's not, okay, right, well it's going to work either way. So put yourself in your bed, close your eyes, and when you, okay, and it's 6 months in the future, okay, so it's now December, okay, and you feel fantastic, you're feeling great, you've got this beautiful love energy flowing through, you feel fantastic, you're very well rested, and you've got your eyes closed, so keep your eyes closed, but then just imagine that you've woken up and you feel wonderful, and I'm going to ask you, are you married to your husband? Yes or no?
I feel I am, but that could just be denial. I don't know.
No. Well, no, go with feelings. That's really, really good. Let me ask you another question. Keep your eyes closed and you're in 6 months. Are you happy?
Okay.
90 seconds.
Yes.
You are happy, okay. What has happened?
I don't know.
Did
you mean what happened now?
No. Just, okay, hang on. I need to ask a more specific question. Did you attend counselling?
No, I have not. He did.
60 seconds.
I found the papers, and he told me he wasn't going to serve me. He had them. didn't like how I was treating him.
Okay. So we've got 44 seconds remaining. I'm so sorry. So what we might do is
That's okay.
yeah, I'm so sorry, Shan. What we might do is I've got a Soulspace Radio at on Facebook / Soulspace Radio. If you send me a private message, I will respond to your query.
10 seconds. Facebook. I have Twitter and Instagram, but I guess I can make a Facebook account.
Okay, well, I tell you what, I've got an email address, soulspaceradio@bigponds.com.
Wait, Soulspace
Radio
at
Big Pond
Soulspace Radio
at bigponds.com.
Big Top.
No, sorry.
Big Pond.
Yeah, BIGPOND.com.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I will respond to that, Shannon.
I hope I'll be okay.
I think you'll be fine. Shannon, one thing
Thank you.
intuitively, you will be absolutely fine because, Shannon, you're asking all the right questions and you're obviously emotionally attached to this person. The show's finished, but obviously you're still online, so that's great. I thought you might be disconnected. So you obviously love this person, there's no doubt about that. How does he make you feel?
Not happy sometimes, no. Like I'm not, like I'm just like a person. I'm not like a loved one. I'm not like a wife.
How long have you felt like that for?
I felt like that about a year and a half now, because I found out he did some stuff, and I tried to get over it, and I thought I was getting over it. But in the meantime of getting over things, I hurt him, and he can't get over the fact that I hurt him because he did something to me, and he can't understand how I lashed out.
Okay. Okay, I understand. Okay, so effectively what has happened is the two of you were in a love-based relationship. Okay, and over time, you know, obviously you felt that you weren't as valued as you should have been. You felt like you were disconnected from him. He may have disconnected himself from the relationship emotionally. He's done something. You've done something in retaliation back, because you wouldn't have consciously done it, but subconsciously. So the two of you are in effect, hurting each other because there's love. Because there's love there. It's now misdirected love, if you know what I mean. It's just contracted energy, not expansive energy. So you have to both come back to a space where you're prepared to love each other again. And in doing so, you have to be in a space where you won't accept hurting each other. You have to both be vulnerable. I sense that you are able to be vulnerable. I'm not too sure about him. I can't read his soul. But there's some practical things that you can do to assist him. And, you know, I feel there's love here in this situation. I feel like it's almost like for him it's too difficult, so he's walked away. There's something, is it triggering in him some issues around his own childhood and Okay, so it's actually bigger than you, Shannon, right? So what you have to do here is, if you actually want to be with him, you're really going to have to be selfless, and you're going to have to you've been a year and a half not feeling good. if you believe that you can feel good, if you believe that you still love him, and only you'll know the answer to that question, because that's inside of you, that's nothing to do with anyone else, and please don't be influenced by any other party around you. That is only something that you can feel. How, if you feel that you truly love him and that you would like to rekindle the romantic aspect of it, then it is really good, because it sounds weird, this is a traumatic experience, but it's really good because he can finally deal with that stuff. And you will need to help him in doing that. And it's good that he's gone away from the situation, because only he can really deal with it. I mean, you can assist him, you can guide him, but really he needs to go within to resolve his own stuff. So if you continued on as it was and he didn't deal with that, it would create major issues. And it already has created 1.5 years of issues, because he's kind of pulled away from you and now you're kind of at war. So what I suggest you would do is I would practically advise that you contact him and see if he will go and see a third party to do some relationship counselling together. To take the relationship...
He told me not to talk to him for a week and we'll reassess.
Okay, well, it's good that he's by himself, because he has to deal with the stuff inside of himself. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. So in a week, you can say to him, you can determine whether you love him, and obviously you do, because you wouldn't be making this call to me, but you need to reframe your relationship, because at the moment it's very negative energy around it. You need to not negative, but contracted. So you need to change the energy from contracted to expansive. So you need to come back to a love space, and both of you need to do that. Not just you, both of you need to do it. But he needs to find his answers within himself, because he is suppressing he's suppressing himself. He's suppressing. Life gets to a point that the energy will pull everything away from us until we deal with our own stuff, until we deal with our own feelings. We have to come back to source. So this is what's happening, and okay, it's not a nice thing, but if you look at the bigger picture, he's really probably getting what he needs. He needs to take some time out to look at himself and to realize that some of the things he's believed and experienced in his childhood are not necessarily true, and he needs to change himself so that he doesn't go into a relationship with you or anybody else creating more turmoil. Because, it's a lot about self-sabotage, it's a lot about not loving yourself enough to believe that you're worthy of love. There's a lot of that sort of stuff around this.
Okay.
So, he's done the right thing.
Well, I appreciate it.
No, that's all right, Shannon. He's done the right thing. Now I ask you to take this week to determine whether you really want to be in a love relationship with this person. And if you do, then seek some external assistance in terms of bringing the two of you back together, and say, I want, as my objective of these sessions, of these counselling sessions, I want to come out of this with a person who truly loves me, and I will commit to truly loving them. And so, and I will incorporate...
Correct.
Yes. And I will incorporate strategies, and he will incorporate strategies to ensure that if we hit a rocky patch, that we come back to each other in a space of love, not in a space of hurting each other. So, no,
we
that's
separated 3 months last year because he went through this and then he came back, but he never forgave me. And so it's like for the past year, I've been just like trying to just make way, and it just wasn't working. He just still keeps bringing up the past.
Yeah, well, so you guys, because he's hurt, and he's not able to resolve from that space, has to go within and deal with it. I don't believe it's just about what you've done, Shannon. I believe it's bigger than that. There's some other issues that it's triggered. He feels hurt. He feels not good enough. He feels, self-esteem is affected, his love for himself. So, you know, only he can find the answers to those, but you can, you know, you can come together and you can assist and guide him in terms of, you know, him dealing with this stuff. And you can say in the sessions, I think this is bigger than just me. You can say that. And then hopefully that will give him an awareness to look within himself. You know, Shannon, is there things within your own past? Do you truly believe that you're worthy of love?
No, I do, and I've been with him since college, but the more I keep going through this, I keep feeling like, where is my self-esteem that I haven't walked away yet?
Well, it's honourable that you haven't in some ways because, you know, obviously you love him, you've kept some integrity. Obviously, you're hurting each other at the moment, but I think you understand the reason why you haven't walked away is I think at a soul level you understand that this is not just about you. You understand that this is about something that your husband has not addressed in his life.
Right. He just touched on it, but he hasn't really come to full grips with it.
Yeah, and he's got to. Because if he doesn't come to full grips with it, he will continue going on, and instead of dealing with it inside, then he's blaming you. You know what I mean? You're a convenient person to hold accountable for it, for not looking within, because he's fearing that more than anything else. So, you know, you could, if you truly wish to maintain a relationship with him, and if it feels good, and you know, constantly measure if it feels good, then go to the counsellor and, you know, open up everything, completely open and honest and transparent, and he will need to, you know, say, I think there's something that you haven't dealt with, and it's reflected in our relationship. Now, this is it sounds really strange, Shannon, but I'm telling you, you will look at this and go, oh my goodness, there's such a huge gift in this. Because it'll either happen two ways. You'll come out of this and he will be, you know, you'll be in a beautiful relationship because he's come to terms with stuff that he needed to deal with a long time ago. Or you will both walk away with, you've given him an opportunity to become aware of these things and he's chosen not to deal with it, and he continues on and you'll continue creating those patterns, and then you can stand alone and go, well, I truly gave this my all, I loved this person, and you'll have all this love to give and you'll attract somebody at the same vibrational energy as you are.
And that's where I feel I'm at right now, and I do love my guy, and I know what he's going through, but he doesn't talk about it, and he does lash out. I just don't know if it's like for my higher good, do I just cut the losses and just move on? I don't think so, because why would I stay with him all this time? And then, but at the same token, I can't keep getting hurt and not knowing where I'm at. As a partner.
Okay, so close your eyes. Okay, and get into your heart, right into the heart, deep in. Feel that. Okay, now feel that love for. Have you got a child or parents? Someone that you truly love.
I have parents, and
Okay.
I have a mom, but I've been wanting a baby from him.
Okay.
And that's part of it too. He won't give me one.
Okay.
Or he won't help me have one.
Okay. We'll get into the heart space and think about your mom and feel that. You feel that love when you think about your mom? Do you feel that love? You feel that love for your mom in your heart? Do you feel that?
Yes.
Okay. Right.
Yes.
Okay. Now, cool. Stop. Okay. Now, I want you to put your husband in that heart space, and I want you to tell me how that feels. So put your husband in there and tell me how that feels.
Well, I love him. I just feel sorry for him.
Okay.
Because I know he's in pain, but I do love him.
Okay. Well, you know, Shannon, there's your answer.
Pardon?
There is your answer. Because if you love him, then you I would suggest that you honor your love and you try and get him some assistance to sort out his issues.
So it's okay to be separated for a week and not talk.
I don't think it's a bad thing. He's gonna have to go within and deal with some of his stuff himself. I don't think it's a bad thing if you're hurting each other being in that relationship, or if you talk and it gets into an argument. I don't see a week, him being away for a week, unless he's away with someone else, I don't see that as a bad thing. He needs to go within to sort this out. It's not your issue. It's his issue. You know, and I tell you what, Shannon, the other thing that's really interesting to me is that you said that you wanted a child with him, but he doesn't want a child.
Yes.
Look, this is indicating to me that
he wants one, but he won't engage. Like, he tells me he wants a baby, but he hasn't performed the act to give me a baby.
Okay. Well, you know, okay. Well, Shannon, that just raises, to me, that's just suggestive of more hurt issues from childhood or something to that effect.
Yeah, he was abused as a kid.
There you go. There you go, my dear. So, you know, Shannon, I love you with all my heart, because you're one of those truly rare people who love people unconditionally, and you find it very hard to understand how other people cannot do that. Other people can't do that because other people don't have love such as you have. And they can't do that for many reasons. You know, it could be abuse. In this case it is. It could be lots of different reasons. I would never advocate anybody staying in an unempowered or abusive relationship. Absolutely not. But if you can help him, he's not there and he's asked for a week out, you have a week out. If you can ask him to go to an independent party and you're living apart from each other, and all together, it doesn't really matter whatever you wish. I think living apart's a good thing. And you go to a third person and you try and assist him in resolving some of these issues for himself. I bless you for that. I bless you for that. Because so many people would never do that. And that is what he needs.
Right.
That is what true love to me is.
I agree.
True love to me is not about fucking walking, sorry, my language. It's not about walking away from someone who is hurt and not trying to guide them. I'm not a believer in tough love. I just believe in love. And I think you do too.
Right.
So to honor...
No, I do.
Yeah. So to honor who you are, I would suggest let him have his week out, because he needs to deal with the way that he feels. He needs to come inside himself. This is fundamentally his issue, not yours. You can't really help him. You can assist him, you can guide him, but he must come within to deal with this. He must, because, you know, especially if he's going to have children, like, he really needs to deal with this, to empower himself, to connect himself. He's got to do this within himself. But you can facilitate by assisting him in that connection, by bringing in experts who will deal with it. So that can be a relationship counsellor, that can be abuse counsellor, that can be, you know, all of those people, and just, you know, stand by him and give him love. I mean, you know, that's just a beautiful thing. That is what I call love, what love, true love is.
Right. Okay, I'll hang tight.
Well, if it feels if it ever feels not right, if it ever feels like you've got to walk away because you're going to break apart, or if it feels like you've got to walk away because he's hurting you and he hasn't stopped hurting you, then you must walk away. But you must walk away on your own terms. You must walk away in accordance with your own integrity. And I get you, Shannon. I get you, because I'm the same. You're a lover. That's what you do. You give love unconditionally. You're going to make the best mother in the world. Can I tell you that? It's just going to be amazing.
Well, I hope I have kids, and that's the thing. I hope it's with him. If not, I got to go do it on my own. I don't know. I just thank you for taking my call, because I really appreciate it.
Oh,
and
no,
you're right, because friends say you got to leave, you got to get a divorce. I can't talk to my family. I just don't know what to do, because I know he's hurting, and I know it's bigger than me, and it has to do with his childhood, because he says I bring up the bad issues from his childhood. That's how I make him feel. And I just didn't know what to do. Like,
of course.
File for divorce? Let us file?
Well, no. Look. Of course you're bringing up these issues for him, because the thing is that he loves you. And when you love somebody, all of the stuff comes to the top that you haven't dealt with. He's like, oh, his male energy is going, don't know. His protection is coming in because he's been so hurt and traumatized as a child. It's coming and saying, oh, don't get close to her, this is dangerous. But he doesn't understand that he has to go through this to actually be able to commit and have love with anybody. So, bless him and help him, but, give him the week and go through this process with him, because Shannon, if you walk away and you say to yourself, I never gave everything that I wanted to give into that relationship, you'll never forgive yourself. It's really it comes about how you feel.
Well, that's correct, because I have some friends, and they're like, you need to file for divorce. I said, I'm not filing for divorce. You don't understand my personality. I'm telling you, I'll regret it the rest of my life.
Well, there you go. You see, your soul always knows. Your soul always knows. And friends being friends, look, they don't see it. Nobody can really tell you what goes on in a relationship, because nobody really knows. It's those two people's private space. Nobody knows what, it's always two sides to a story. You must do what you feel in your heart is the right thing to do. You are so spiritually connected because you live in love energy. And if it's not this relationship, it will just bring you another fantastic one. It really, really will. You will have children, and you'll have many children, and you'll be loved, and you'll feel that love. This is a great thing because he is getting the help that he needs. If you had a child with him, it would bring it all out and more, and it would be an issue. So best to resolve this now, support and guide him until it doesn't feel right. If it doesn't change, if the situation doesn't change, then you must do what you feel is right by you. In other words, move out of the situation. Don't be afraid of not having children. You will have children. I've no doubt of that. You've just got so much love to give. It's like bursting out of you. It's not possible to contain that.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with you. I feel like that. I just lost the spark of my life, like my life for a little while because of this.
Yeah.
You're right. And I know in my heart, if I bother him within this next month, he will file for divorce and he will be out. Because then I pushed him away and I'm pushing.
Yeah, well,
that I do know.
Yeah, well, pushing is male energy. So you see, his male energy is going, protect yourself because I'm in love with this woman. And you're counteracting with your male energy going, push him. But you're going to push, you can't come from that space. You've got to change it because it's not working, is it? What you've done so far is not working. So you've got to come in.
No, it's not working.
No. So you've got to come in from a different angle. If you want to give it a go, if you want to honour yourself, if you want to honour him with love, come at a different angle. Soften your approach. Go through a third party.
Okay, I appreciate it. I'll email you and let you know though. Is that okay?
Oh my gosh, Shannon, I would love to know, and I'd love you to come back on the show and tell me all about it, because I think you are amazing. I love you. I can just feel the love coming out from you. You are a beautiful, beautiful lady. And I know that you'll come back to me in 6 months and you'll say, oh my God, Shay, everything's just amazing.
Oh, good, I hope. Oh, good. Thank you very much for taking my call. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem. Love you.
I really do.
I love you. And you, wishing you all the best, my dear.
Okay, love you. Thank you.
No worries.
Thank you very much.
No worries. Thanks, Shannon.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye. Bye. Okay, guys, well, we've been off here quite some time ago, but as you can see, I really wanted to honour Shannon there. That was a pretty emotional time for her, and I really wanted to honour that. You know, I think we've all been through relationships stuff in the past, and it really hurts. It really hurts when her heart is a beautiful thing, but if a heart has, if we've experienced trauma or anything in terms of our life, it closes down. We can close our heart down, and from that space, when we get into relationships or we get into love things, we can easily feel threatened. And so, you know, our male energy will come in and say, got to be safe, got to be safe, got to be safe. And you know what? You don't have to always be safe. You know, you can be vulnerable. It's not an easy space. It's not something that naturally I'm really good at. But there's much beauty in that space. And if we all opened our hearts like Shannon does, and I'm going to start crying in a minute, if we all opened our hearts to actually listen to what people have to say and not respond to them in terms of, you know, actions or at war or fighting, but in terms of like truly loving, truly unconditionally loving, and seeing the bigger picture for that person, and facilitating their growth and their connection to source and their internal growth. How can there not be anything more beautiful than that? And I'm not talking about staying in an abusive or being codependent or anything like that. That's pure not good energy. But when there's somebody that you truly love who's hurt and who can't get there, who can't grow anymore because of the limitations in their life from past experiences, to actually go out of your way when you're really hurt to ask for help, to help yourself and to help that person. Is there anything in this world that is more a valid example of true love? And that, people, is a fine note to end the show, because that is what we're all about, and that's what this show's about. So, on that note, I love you all, and I'll see you next week. Thank you so much.